In a village nestled at the very edge of an endless sea of sand, lived a young boy named Zayd. His home was woven from sun-baked clay and palm fronds, and his days were painted in shades of ochre and gold. From the village elders, Zayd heard whispers of a legend, a story carried on the desert wind. They spoke of a silver tree, a mystical wonder hidden deep within the dunes that never bore fruit or leaves. Instead, it was said to bloom with lights, each a tiny star holding a memory of the sand itself. Zayd's heart, full of curiosity and wonder, was captured by this tale. He would sit atop the highest dune, watching the sun bleed across the horizon, and imagine this tree, its silver branches reaching for a sky full of stars. He felt a pull, a silent calling from the heart of the desert, a promise of magic waiting to be discovered. He knew he had to find it. So, one morning, just as the first sliver of dawn painted the eastern sky in hues of soft rose and lavender, Zayd began his journey. He carried with him a small water skin, a handful of dried dates, and a heart brimming with courage. The desert welcomed him with a quiet embrace. The sands, cool from the night, shifted beneath his feet like soft silk. The world was hushed, holding its breath in the moments before the sun's full arrival. As the day wore on, the sun climbed higher, casting a brilliant, almost blinding light upon the world. The desert transformed into a vast, shimmering landscape. The dunes rolled on forever, their crests like sharp, golden waves frozen in time. The wind whispered secrets, sculpting the sand into delicate ripples and grand, sweeping curves. Zayd saw cacti standing like solitary green sentinels, their strange, beautiful flowers a defiant splash of color against the endless gold. He watched as a tiny desert fox with ears like satellite dishes darted across his path, its movements quick and graceful. The silence of the desert wasn't empty. It was full of life, of ancient rhythms and untold stories. Days turned into a gentle rhythm of walking and resting. Zayd learned to read the desert. He followed the constellations at night, great glittering rivers of stars that served as his map. He learned to find shelter in the cool shadows of towering rock formations that looked like ancient sleeping giants. He faced challenges, of course. A sudden sandstorm rose one afternoon, a swirling vortex of sand and wind that turned the world into a chaotic blur. Zayd huddled behind a rocky outcrop, his scarf wrapped tightly around his face, listening to the storm's powerful song until it passed, leaving the air clean and the dunes reshaped into new, unfamiliar forms. He felt tired, his muscles ached, and at times a flicker of doubt would enter his mind. But then he would look up at the vast, clear night sky or feel the gentle caress of the evening breeze, and his resolve would strengthen. He wasn't just searching for a tree. He was on a pilgrimage, a journey to understand the soul of the desert, and in doing so, to understand himself. Then, one evening, as twilight settled, painting the sky in deep purples and indigos, he saw it. Perched atop a dune that seemed to touch the heavens was a tree. It was unlike anything he had ever imagined. Its trunk and branches were not made of wood, but of a smooth, luminous silver that seemed to drink in the last light of day and reflect the emerging starlight. It stood alone, a silent, breathtaking sculpture against the darkening sky. Its branches twisted and reached outwards, delicate and intricate, like spun moonlight. Zayd approached slowly, his heart pounding in his chest. A sense of reverence washed over him. The air around the tree was still and charged with a quiet energy. As the last trace of sunlight vanished and the world was cloaked in the deep velvet of night, the magic began. One by one, the branches of the silver tree began to bloom. But these were not flowers. They were soft, glowing orbs of light. Some shone with the gentle, warm glow of a candle, others with the cool, blue-white light of a distant star. There were lights of soft pink, pale green, and shimmering gold. The entire tree was soon alight, a celestial chandelier in the heart of the desert. pulsating with a gentle, rhythmic light. Zayd stood beneath its branches, utterly mesmerized. He reached out a hesitant hand and touched one of the lights, a small golden orb. As his fingers made contact, he wasn't burned. Instead, a wave of images and feelings flooded his mind. He saw a caravan of ancient traders, their camels laden with spices and silks, their laughter echoing across the dunes. He felt the joy of a desert rain, the cool drops kissing the parched earth and awakening dormant seeds. He witnessed the slow, patient dance of the wind as it sculpted a towering dune over centuries. He moved from light to light, each one a portal to a different memory. He saw the birth of a gazelle, tiny and trembling, taking its first steps. He heard the songs of nomads gathered around a fire, their voices rising into the starry night. He saw lovers tracing their names in the sand, a promise sealed by the moonlight. He saw solitude, joy, struggle, and peace. These were not just memories of the sand. They were the memories of life itself, of everything the desert had ever witnessed. It was the collective story of time, held within these delicate, shining blossoms. Zayd understood then that the desert was not an empty space, but a library of countless stories, a living, breathing entity with a memory as vast as the sky above. He saw his own ancestors in those lights, their journeys and their dreams intertwined with the land. He saw his own small life as a single, shining thread in this immense, beautiful tapestry. He felt a profound connection to everything around him, to the past that had shaped him, and the world that held him. He spent the entire night under the tree, not sleeping, but watching, listening, and feeling. He was no longer just a boy from a small village. He was a keeper of stories, a witness to magic. As the first hints of dawn began to lighten the eastern horizon, the lights on the silver tree began to fade, one by one, like stars retreating before the sun. Soon, the tree was once again just a silent silver form against the pale morning sky. Zayd knew it was time to return. His journey back was different. The desert no longer felt like a vast, intimidating space. It felt like home. He saw the stories in every grain of sand, in the shape of every rock, in the whisper of the wind. He carried the light of the silver tree not in his hands, but in his heart. When he walked back into his village, the elders saw a change in him. His eyes held a new depth, a quiet wisdom that belied his years. He didn't speak of his journey in grand, boastful terms. Instead, he began to tell stories. He spoke of the courage of a tiny scarab beetle, of the patience of a cactus flower waiting for rain, of the history written in the stars. He shared the memories he had been given, weaving them into the life of his village. Zayd never forgot the silver tree. He knew its magic wasn't something to be owned or captured, but something to be experienced and shared. He had gone into the desert searching for a myth and had returned with a truth: that we are all connected to the past, to the earth, and to each other. And that the most profound magic can be found in the simple act of listening to the stories the world has to tell. And sometimes, he would climb the highest dune at dusk, look out towards the heart of the desert, and smile, knowing that deep within the sands, a silver tree was blooming with light, holding the memories of the world, waiting for the next heart ready to listen.